Woman never run your head.
A woman never run my head in a high school.
Hey, me try for run your head doing it.
Hey.
You're strong. You're that strong.
What happens when high school lovebirds get married?
They move to a new city and start a YouTube channel, of course.
Welcome to Adventures of XYZ. I'm Xaundre.
And I'm Zara.
I'm a doctor.
And I'm a lawyer.
But we both just really love sharing our faith and going on cool adventures.
So we created this channel to share our journey as we attempt to use biblical principles to navigate life.
And have a whole lot of fun doing it.
So, come along with us!
Hey XYZ fam! So this video is specifically dedicated to our teenage friends.
Yes.
We put out a lot of content that's talking about relationships and about marriage and life and sex and a lot of things that our teenage friends just cannot identify. Well,
they can.
We would hope they cannot currently identify with them.
So we're going to be exposing ourselves big time. Going through mostly you and me, because
what do you mean?
Come here, that girl.
So not gonna do nothing.
What we'll be doing is that we'll be looking at these pictures and we'll think about what we would say to that version of ourselves at that age.
Kind of lessons we wish we knew at the time.
Right.
And maybe some things we already knew, I don't know.
And you as a teenager might be able to pick up a thing or two. And as we said, of course, mummies, aunties, cousins, everybody send this to all the teenagers because every teenager must hear this.
So let's see Zara's first picture.
No, I hear her picture first.
Oh, I'm never the first. And they say, oh dear.
Look for the picture here. What would you say to that version of yourself?
I would say, look at youth. You're not going too bad, Look how my clothes did sharp and enough energy me did put in it, Guys, I spent hours ironing them suits. I kid you not. 1 bottle of spray starch done upon the uniform, 1 tin of polish. I had to use kiwi polish. You can't use nugget.
So you would just reaffirm yourself?
I'd reaffirm myself because I wanted that that affirmation, I guess. I wanted somebody to look at me and say, I see the effort you're putting in to be that. I was in first form.
First form is the first
I was
form.
in first form. That's grade 7.
So that's 13 years old. So we're starting from 13.
Yeah, so that's grade 7. I was about 2 or 3 months into cadet. And I wanted to impress my seniors. I just wanted somebody to look at me and say, Mohansingh, you look sharp, my boy. Just some affirmation that my energy was worth it.
That's what you tell us.
Yeah.
Boy, I feel like I get emotional.
I remember what you would tell yourself now.
First of all, them shoes there was hot girl shoes. Auntie Viv did give me that shoe. She did come from Florida. the eye top, I told me to get that pink one and another gold one.
No, but what me want to weird up on the ground.
No.
Look at your cheek, them shine like young pear.
I remember that day perfectly when I took that picture. I was also in first form. The difference, guys. I was also in first form, and you'll see the differences in us growing up. I was in first form at the time, but I just creamed my hair.
Oh.
So that was fresh off of the hairdresser. It's natural hair that is now processed, and I was feeling on top of the world. And I would tell that girl that she was beautiful the way she is. I would tell her that she never needed the things that society said she needed because God made her perfect. And she never had to do anything to fit in with our crowd because she was already beautiful. And at that time of my life, I had just lost my dad. And when you're young and you're grieving, you want to feel accepted, you want to mask the pain, and you want to feel as if you're rolling with people who will accept you. because you want that void to be filled. And especially at teenage girls feel like, and know me a body, so all prepare for tears throughout this video, right?
I never saw that coming.
Teenage girls, I think, go through, guys too, you know, but I have to present for the girls because that's my experience and that's my lived experience. Teenage girls go through this period of trying to figure out their identity and trying to fit in, and sometimes you get put in boxes and you just don't know which box makes sense. And I get passionate about it because now, yeah, Xaundre loves my natural hair, but now when natural hair is trendy, I know that a lot of young girls might want to learn how to do it, and you might feel a little demotivated, or you know, you want to wear the wigs and you want to wear the weave because that's what you see everybody else is doing, but you won't be able to fully accept God's plan for you if you're not ready to accept who He has made it to be. So that's what I would tell as original Sarah.
Wow.
It get deep quick, me never.
This move from 0 to 100 real fast.
Leave me alone.
You want a towel, babe? Alright, I'm up next.
Are you there Prime Minister? This was when you were a mayor, youth mayor for me.
I don't remember if I was mayor this year or if this year was the year I was just councillor. I don't think I was a nerd, guys. And my biggest ambition at that point in life was to please my teachers, please my father, please my mother, please everybody around me. I did not care what I wanted, honestly.
So what would you tell that version of yourself, and what would you tell somebody who might be in that teenage room?
I would ask them why. I'd want to know why I was pushing myself, why I wanted to be so much, why I wanted to extend myself to those great lengths. And I'm not saying that I wouldn't, you know, go and do the same thing again, but I had no concept of why I was doing it. Perhaps subconsciously I knew this was all a part of my development, but I'm not really sure why I was doing it. I was just doing it. I really was just doing what I thought was expected of me. So babe,
who's coming next, but you never let the fell. What? It's a barbecue outfit. We drove to Kingston from Clarendon. Me, mommy, and Auntie Lisa. We go meet Auntie Lisa at Kingston. And me, Auntie Lisa and mommy go search for the outfit because barbecue was coming up. Yes,
barbecue.
Big up Auntie Lisa anywhere you are. Okay, I would tell that girl at that time, I would tell her that she should pace herself. And pacing yourself is one of the best things you can do for your lifetime overall. That girl was in a transitional period where she wanted, she was okay being 15, or I think I was maybe 14 at this time. She was kind of okay being 14, but she also thought a lot about what it meant being 21, and she was a little bit confused about a lot of rules that the church had. She was confused about restrictions. She was confused about the rules that her parents had and stuff like that. I mean, ultimately that caught up with me. And if at that point I paced myself and I took things one step at a time, and I understood that whatever was supposed to be revealed would be revealed if I was earnest enough to go and search for it, and if I just put my mind to it and put God first and pace myself, then it would all fall into place. So that's what I would tell that girl. I would have suit the name.
I quite like this suit actually. Alright, so what's going on here? That was Mr. Greg Smith and Lisa Hanna. She was the Minister of Youth and Culture at the time, and he was the registrar at Office of Children's Registry, right? So I was being, what was that? Something.
You did get some child ambassador.
Commissioned or something.
Yeah,
I don't remember
as child ambassador.
As child ambassador. And at this point, I kind of started to understand my why.
Okay.
And it was at a stage where I started to see advocacy as being important to me. Looking back, I want to say to this guy, listen, whenever you're trying to represent the people around you, make sure you're not also trying to leave them behind.
It's true. It's true.
Make sure you're not also trying to leave them behind. I also see where I was not at this point investing any time in friendships. Like, don't get me wrong, you know, I had a lot of people around me that were very friendly.
I had a lot of associates.
I had a lot of associates, but ask me who were my friends. Davian.
Lucy and Ashley were your good friends in high school too.
And Lucy and Ashley gave a lot into me,
Yeah.
and I did not pour back.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say I was a leech, but
You were a leech, to be honest.
well, I guess I was a leech. I wasn't actively thinking about how I could add value to their lives.
Yeah.
I was just thinking about my goals and what I wanted to be. The reality of it is that at this point in life, the people who were popular, the people who were, at least the guys are talking about, the guys who were my age, who seemed to have it all together, who had all the girls and who had everybody looking up to them. These guys, by and large, were the guys who played sports and, you know, as I said, they were popular guys. And everybody wanted to be like them. Those guys were the guys that people would supposedly look up to. But I saw straight through that. Because if the only thing that I am interested in as a teenage boy is making the teenage girls, look at me and want me, then I am very short-sighted. Because by the time high school is done, after graduation, that is the extent of my reach as a human being. If my only investment is in the girls who are around me. And you know, ask yourself the question when you're a teenager. When I am 25 years old, what will matter more? Whether I was popular in high school or whether I had invested my teenage years into becoming the best young professional or best young whatever field you're in.
So now you're here with us, you're chill, you realize that we're a good vibe, and if you're new, go ahead and click that subscribe button.
Welcome to the family.
And welcome. If you genuinely just like this video, think it's good content and you want to continue to see content like this, smash that like button and of course share it with a friend.
Yeah.
Yeah, primo.
You're kinda cute.
Back to the video. Them days that your picture have to edit. If your picture never edit, you never add on the Facebook. That was a Facebook picture edited in like PicMonkey or one of them apps. And there's a picture, I put another picture here, it's in that same season. I would say to her to not expect anything from teenage boys. We watch a lot of movies as teenagers, and that in that period I was going through my first heartbreak, and it was a hard time in my life. I made me think everything that I go down the world, and the truth is it was a very them time there. I just talk on the phone, we barely see each other in a public.
Wait, when was this? You and I were together at this point?
No.
Oh.
First heartbreak. You're never my first heartbreak.
Oh.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that during that time, you know, I wanted commitment from a 14-year-old, and when this 14-year-old cheated because him have other girlfriend from other school, me ball, nah eat food. Listen,
to be clear, this is not the 14-year-old of which she speaks.
But what I'm saying though is that you can't expect commitment from a 14-year-old. We were babies. I don't know what we did want.
I don't know either.
I'd also tell her to focus on knowing God for herself and not just relying on what her parents had to say and what church had to say, because it was in that time when I was rebelling against church. I never wanted to be there. I feel like it was a waste of my time. It was boring. I never, you know. But then there was so much to be grateful for, and God had brought me through so much. There was a reason to have a relationship with him, but I couldn't see it because it was so wrapped up in what I never wanted and what never served me. Next picture, I want a hairstyle on you.
That hairstyle I wore for my entire high school,
Straight
my
up.
entire university, no,
Yeah.
my entire first 3 years of university is in COVID that I decided to do something like this. I mean, it was neat because, you know.
Thank you, God. But thank God for COVID because.
But even then, babe, people start pre me. What compounds that? Babe, what is your problem? You know, send me the hot boy. Me the hot boy and the big pants and the baggy shirt. Fourth form is when I started to have my existential crisis.
Yeah.
Fourth form is where I started to ask questions about the existence of God. But anyway, I'd probably say to this young man at this point, it's okay if you can't explain everything. Like, understand and be humble about the fact that you don't know everything. We get proud, we get so conceited, we're just full of ourselves, and I think at this point is when I was starting to have issues with some of the teachings of the church because I never fully understood them, and it felt kind of repressive. It felt kind of almost cheap, like a cheap story that you're giving to me for me to stay here. When I realized that I wasn't getting all the answers that I wanted, I think what I learned about how to go about life has never left me. I realized that I needed to go to Jesus for the answers.
Yeah.
And I'd probably say to him, I mean, him have like a confused look on his face at this point, like some deer got caught in the headlights. But I'd say to him, it's okay if you're confused now, but just know that this confusion doesn't have to last forever if you search diligently.
Yes.
And ask God to teach you. Ask Him to show you. And if you really just don't believe that there's a God, talk with some other people. Have a discussion with them about it. Ask the hard to ask questions. And aunties, uncles, daddies, mummies, big brother, big sister, don't shun the youths them when them start to ask some intellectual questions that you don't know the answers to. Say, you know what, I don't know the answer.
I don't know.
But let me put you in front of somebody who knows. And you have Google, you have YouTube.
So you remember that picture?
Guys, I'd address your timing.
This picture
This was the dress.
was the night when Xaundre saw me for the first time, and well, it was the first time he saw me in the light of I have to have that girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Watch the
love story video.
yeah, watch the
series.
love story series.
Yeah, and you'll get the full story.
And you'll hear the reference to this with the silver dress and the red shoes.
Yeah, it's kind of like a Bronte dress, but at that time, I would tell that girl that she's making the right choice. 15 at the time, and there were 3 guys who liked me, and I put them on a spectrum. There was a guy who was horrible for me, like one end of the spectrum, and then there was Xaundre, who was really good on paper, and then you had this guy in the middle who was kind of bad for me because him kind of did bad but him got church, and
Who tell me?
me not tell you oh
Whisper tell me now.
not tell the vlog. There's 3 persons. And I mean, it came down to the wire where it was like, okay, so who am I now going to? In them time that you just think about who you gonna text more, because that's my mother never me. I never did go nowhere, right? So all of my relationships were really about who I was going to text the most. To be honest, even like Xaundre and I, we spent most of our time together on the phone. Tell these teenage girls every day now, choose the one who bright. Yes, choose the one who bright and got church. He might not cool now. He might not be cool now. Like top.
But who is going to be cool at 25?
But top tier advice. Choose the one who's paying attention. Choose the one who's getting good grades. And when I say choose, I mean choose to entertain. Choose to talk to. Choose to date. Choose to text. Choose the type of guy who won't pressure you to have sex. You know, so when I was 13, I was in first form, I entertained this guy, you know, with a text and so. I remember the guy saying, yeah, get bigger now. 13, you know? And
them guy that you want to be friend with?
I'm just saying.
I understand. So why would I want to be friend with them?
Anyways, choose the guy who wants to grow spiritually. And mark you, sometimes as teenagers, it's not always guys. Sometimes you want to break out too, you know, and you want to experience certain things, but choose the one who will keep you on track. If you're going to date, you don't have to date. Also, don't feel pressured to date. You know, you don't have to date. Not because everybody around you dating. You don't have to date. You can wait. Statistically, the cool people who are cool in high school are not cool after high school. Statistically speaking.
Teenage years, this is where you start to do this church thing and this God thing, especially from third form and up. This is where you start to this
16,
church
15,
thing.
16.
Yeah, this church thing and this God thing. You're not doing it for your parents. You're doing it for you and your relationship with God. I know a lot of parents don't want to hear this, but this is when you need to allow people to not just ask the questions, but also to make the mistakes, because them still under your roof and you can still provide some guidance. If you cloak up the young people, and this is for all of the aunties out there, this is for all of the mummies and the daddies and the uncles. If you cloak up the youths too much while they are young, they will conform out of fear, not out of respect.
Yes, that's a good one.
And then you see when you let them go university, broke out. No moral compass, because they were not doing it because they were inclined to. They were doing it because they feared that if they don't, you know.
For me, one of my biggest struggles in high school was I wanted to go to parties real bad. The only time we could go out was when it was barbecue. And I remember one year now, one year this one and no with him Holy Ghost selves. Remember that the Lord's angels don't dwell everywhere.
I never saw me say.
And that is
I never saw me
and that is
Me say, remember that if you go to some places, the angels of the Lord will not come with you. You can call me boring all you want. I just love clean Christian fun. Guys, tell her now, I just love clean Christian fun. That's all.
Yeah, I know. And clean Christian fun like what? What you thinking?
I like going to church.
Yes.
Because that's fun.
That's fun. What do you like to do as clean Christian fun?
Yeah, you guys like going to concerts? I like going to concerts. Speaking of which, we are doing both of those things on the 10th of December 2022.
A very, very special day. In the morning, where will we be?
We're going to Kencott SDA for the East Jamaica Conference Youth Congressary. More on that to come in future videos, but just clear your calendar and make sure that you're there with us.
And then in the evening, we're going to the Well Encounter.
All right.
The Well Encounter at the National Stadium. And of course, guys, you guys know that we're not going to leave XYZ fam out.
Nah.
So of course, we secured some free tickets for you. But the only way you can get those free tickets to the Well Encounter, where
Chandler Moore from
Maverick
Maverick City and Naomi Rain from Maverick City are both going to be there. Like, some of the songs that they've been lead singers in have really changed our lives.
and your lives, we bet.
Can you imagine? Jira, you are enough.
Yeah.
And I will be content.
That's not the part. Yeah.
In every circumstance.
Yeah.
This concert may not necessarily be everybody's cup of tea, and that's completely fine. We serve a broad range of
Christians.
people and Christians with different, different likes and so on. So if this is not your thing, that's completely understandable. We'll meet up with you somewhere else. But if this is your thing, we will see you guys on the 10th of December.
So what do they have to do to win the free ticket?
All right, so catch this now. You have to share this video, this video that you're watching now, on your Instagram. That's the only place that the giveaway is taking place.
Yeah.
Share it on your Instagram and then tag at Adventures of XYZ.
Hashtag the Well Encounter, so that we'll be able to keep track of all the contestants. But then, of course, if you want to find out more information about this concert and you want to get your tickets, because only two people can win this giveaway right now.
Maybe we'll have more.
Maybe we'll have more for you in the future. Who knows? Please stay tuned to all our socials. As we continue to just look for more clean Christian experiences for you. Early Bird Special is finishing this weekend. You don't want to miss it. We'll drop that link in the description as well. Right,
back to the video.
Anyways, my simple friends, I'm gonna get older than that though. But I'm just saying that my mother. This was a secular event and it was on Saturday, but there was a part of it that we could catch after the sunset. It meant the world to me because I could now go to something that was in. Everybody was going, everybody was talking about it, I went year 1, I went year 2, I went year 3. Year 4 or something like that. I don't remember, but I remember clearly going into the auditorium at Glenmere and standing up and hearing the dancehall music, and I was like, I don't want to be here. I just don't want to be here. I don't resonate with this crowd. I don't want to be here. It is not my environment. This is not where I feel at peace. God doesn't dwell here, and if God doesn't dwell here, I don't want to be here. But guess what? Mommy allowed me to figure that out for myself, because if she did ever keep me in, when everybody got to enjoy themselves and Monday morning everybody had talk about it, so she gave me some
I'm sure, because I've seen it in literature that we regard highly, that some people would actually err on the side of caution and not expose you to it any at all. However, and I mean, I know I'm going out on a limb, and somebody probably going to challenge me in the comments about this, but it's a conversation I hope to have. I'm not saying I have all the answers. I don't know what it's like to parent a child. I have never parented a child. I do not intend to parent a child in the very near future.
Very near, but not like next year.
Yeah, just so you're clear. But what was I saying? Right. There was a time where you could protect youngsters by hiding things from them. That time is no more.
No. Zilch.
You cannot hide anything from young people these days. Go to sleep. So guys, I was saying, right? If it is that you're trying to hide things from teenagers so that they won't do them, you're fooling yourself, because you can't hide it from them. They're going to find out. And they're going to find out from people who are either well-meaning and misguided, or just not well-meaning at all.
If you're a teenager and you're watching this, I want you to comment down below so that we can reply to your comments personally.
And write in there, teenager.
And if you want to DM us.
This is when it gets spicy. This is ball. Graduation banquet. You might be the only one barking up the tree that you're barking up. Bark on, brother. Bark on up the tree. People don't have to like you. When I say people, I mean, if somebody's in a position that you're trying to get to, then they need to at least, you need to at least be tolerable around them.
But it's okay to not know what the future holds. You don't have to have it all together. You don't have to have anxiety about figuring things out.
Yeah, and came in the newspaper, and hey, a long time man, a girl in a newspaper, Effectively though, because I was so busy focusing on what I was focusing on, it saved me a lot of distractions. A woman never run my head in a high school.
Hey, me try for run the head though,
Hey.
You're strong. You're strong.
You see, when them try to run your head, bro, when them try to run your head, stay true to your calling. Stay true to what the Lord has called you to do.
I just want to let you know. Listen, 25-year-old Xaundre has nothing. When I said to you, I want to let you know that 25-year-old Xaundre, self-control, discipline has nothing on 17-year-old Xaundre. 17-year-old Xaundre was next level.
A true man.
Them time then, in order to see him at lunchtime, you have to tell him like 2-3 days before, because even in a lunchtime, you have a meeting. We do him in every club.
Did it help me to narrow down my options so I can for once and for all decide what I actually want to invest my time in, and where I actually want to go, from a place of actual experience, knowing what each area, each facet has to offer. Do I like sports? Do I like debating? Do I like public speaking? Do I like this? Do I like that? It gave me a lot of exposure. And then say, guys, Xaundre is too emotionally immature to be of any use to you, and Zara, you probably need to figure out what you really want from this guy. So since that's the case, maybe you guys should take some time off, figure out yourselves, and then try again if you feel so inclined. What I would say to this couple, well, what I would say to me in this situation here is allow yourself to be vulnerable a little. when you find somebody you can really trust.
Yeah.
Because I knew at that point that I could really trust Zara, and I said be vulnerable a little. Somebody who you can really trust, and that's why this balance is so important, because being on one extreme is no good.
What would you say to this couple?
Hey, all right, so this is upper 6, wasn't it?
Yeah, man, we were both head boy and head girl at that time.
Yeah.
So we were like, maybe, I always say 18, best year. 18 and between 18 and I was on top of the world. I
Can't relate actually.
I could do bad all by myself. I felt like I was finally accepting who I was, who God made me to be, who God called me to be. I was stepping into my worth. I understood my value, and I was like, me and me, nobody take step on me. It was her actually recognizing that she was God's child, and she needed this moment to understand what it meant to have that personal relationship with him outside of the crowd.
You know, at this point, this was one of the more confusing years in my life, because I had reached, where I wanted to be.
Your boss.
I was head boy at this point, and I took my job as head boy very seriously.
Hello, you think 17-year-old Xaundre was serious? When you not meet head boy Xaundre? Xaundre was a head boy for Jamaica. You hear? Head boy for Glenmere, you're crazy.
Guys.
He was the head boy for Jamaica. All of Jamaican high schools, he was the head boy, because you couldn't even see the man. Can't see him. You would have glimpsed him. Busy have a meeting.
Alright, so lessons I learned at this point in life, right? For the first time, I actually started to question my career. Well, perhaps that started the year before, but at this point it was very serious. I was seriously questioning what I wanted to be. And then it's at that point that me start tell Zara all of them story here choosing between being a doctor and being a pastor. And can I tell you guys that Zara prayed with me how many nights, and she said, listen, whether you're a pastor or a doctor, I will still be here with you. And she encouraged me, guys. I tell you, man, she really encouraged me.
Big man, things me did take up on my head and encourage all you. Here's Xaundre, guys. Zara. So, because ultimately we wanted to, that's another lesson that I think we learned, that when it comes to choosing a career path or a path for study or whatever, as teenagers, no matter how small you think it is, and people might make it seem as if it's not a big deal, it is a big deal. It's a big deal to you. It's a humongous deal. But always try to put it before God and go on the path that He wants you to go.
Yeah.
You hear him now? If God soon come, and if God come when him there, you will go hell.
Because guys, my only frame of reference for people who went to UE were that you're a good Christian boy,
and then you go
UE and just broke out.
And then him say him have to weigh him options, because God soon come. So if God come in there and see you, he might have a better chance of going to heaven. Well, you know how the story unfolds. If you allow us, we will talk
all night.
But we don't expose ourselves. Pictures are done.
So if you could give one overarching lesson learned, what would that be?
Put God first. Everything come after. Jesus first.
Everything come after. No money, no cars. It's Jesus I'm after.
Yeah. What about you?
Find somebody who is in a position that you want to be and ask them how to get there.
There we go.
And that place can be in terms of your spiritual life, in terms of academics or career, can be in terms of relationships. Guys, it's unlikely that you're going to find one person with everything, and that's fine. You're not trying to
make an idol or to clone, yeah.
No, you're finding people who have done something in that area, and you're asking them to teach you in that area. Because people I would go to for, say, career advice, I probably wouldn't take relationship advice from.
You know what's harder than being a teenager?
What?
Raising a teenager.
Oh gosh, I can only imagine.
My mother used to say she wish she could have jumped over the teenagers. I guess me never turned out too bad. But anyways.
Guys, that's it from us for tonight. Thank you guys for joining us, and please remember to share with your teenage friends. And if you are a teenager, let us in the comments down below.
Thanks for watching.
So we'll see you next time on Adventures of XYZ. Bye guys.